Hi, this is Kate from Izzalicious Designs. Today I thought I'd show you how to make a little jacket for our Izzy Bizzy doll that it does unbutton. So here we go, I'm just unbuttoning it. I've made a red one for her this time. So there we go, so unbuttons. We've got 3 little buttons on the front, got little white collar around the back. Obviously you can do this any colour you want, it's completely up to you. I'm going to do a blue one today to show you, to work with you on this. Here we go, do it back up, little sleeves all the way around. Now I've prepared things in advance, so I'm going to go through the steps with you, but so far I have used 2 complete bags of 600 ocean blue. I'm using the ocean blue, Rainbow Loom ocean blue, and what I've done to prepare in advance is get the large portion of the jacket done, which is from here to here. Okay, so I'm going to show you how to start, but then when we get to the top, okay, I've gone up to here already. I've done that, and I've done 2 sleeves. I've done 1 complete sleeve, and the next sleeve has 1 round left to do, and I'm going to show you how to do these. But just so that you've got an idea of how many bands you're going to use, as I said, I've used 2 complete bags so far, so that's 1,200 bands. I have this amount of bands left, and I need to do 18 more stitches around here. So let's see, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18. So I will be left with 5 bands after I have finished doing the main body of the jacket and 2 sleeves. We are still going to need to attach the sleeves onto the jacket and do up the shoulders and the collar. So you are going to need at least 3 packets of bands to do this. Now you're not going to use the entire 3rd packet, but you are going to need it. Okay, so let's open this 3rd packet. Here we go, I'm ready to go. Now, how we're going to start this, we're going to chain 42. So I'm going to count out 42 bands. So we've got 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, come back here you, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, so that's 10, 20, 30, 40 and 2. Alright, let's keep these little 42 right here. Alright, and we're going to take a single band and wrap it round our hook once and twice. Okay, and what we're going to start is this great big area like this, which is back and forward in rows. We're not working in rounds. So we're going to chain these 42 onto our hook. You're just doing normal chains like this. Okay. And I'm going to show you how to do a couple, maybe 3 rows, just so that you get the hang of turning and everything like that. And then we will pause the video and you will continue to do what you need to do, and I will tell you. So we're chaining all of this pile onto our hook here. quite a lot, I know. But this is going to go around the entire body. I'm going to try, I've tried to prepare it all so that it's not an enormously long video for you. All the bits that are repetitive I've tried to have already made in preparation, so that we can just pause the video, you can do what you need to do, and then we catch back up, because I know some of these videos that are 1 and 2 hours long are a little bit mind-boggling. So there we are, we have chained 42 all together like this. You can make a lovely bracelet. Now what we're going to do, I'm going to zoom in just a little bit so you can see what I'm doing. Make sure we're in focus. You're going to go back 3 bands. So this is the first band here, second band and third band. You're going to push your hook through the center of that band there, and with another band you're going to do a single crochet like this. You're going to put it on your hook, take one over the other and pull through, and you're going to put a stitch marker right on that little spot. That is our first stitch. Okay, and now we're going to go all the way down to the end of the row. Now because you've linked those 2 stitches over, you've now got a row of 40. Okay, so you always do your foundation chain a little bit longer than what you actually need, 2 stitches longer than what you need. So we're going to do single crochet all the way down until you get to the end, and I'm going to show you what we do. Now the other thing is you can swap up the colours if you want. You don't have to do just a single colour. You can do it multicoloured. You can do a row of one colour and then do a row of another colour. Completely up to you. Daisy. Single crochet all the way to the end. So this is my second last stitch from the end. This stitch here is my last stitch. This little bit here on the end, these 3 little loops, I need to turn my phone off, don't I? So those 3 little loops at the end are actually my end cap. Okay, so we don't worry about the end cap. We're going to go through our last stitch, and with a single band, pull it through, and you're doing a slip stitch. Pull it through. We're doing, actually, I'm sorry, we're doing a chain, really, because we're pulling it through and adding that little loop to it. It is a slip stitch. And then we're going to chain one more up like that. Okay, pinch it so it doesn't go anywhere. Put your hook around the other way, and we're turning our work. Now again, you're going to go into the third stitch. So 1, 2, here's number 3, and again we're going to do single crochet like that all the way back to the other end. Now you really don't need your stitch marker on the end, because you kind of know where the end of your row is, because you can't go any further. So all you do is do a single crochet. I'm going to do one more row with you. Oops, broken band, let's get rid of that. So this is the main body of the jacket. Now this is our second row that we're on. We already did a row of single crochet, so this is our second row of single crochet, and in total we're doing 17 rows, so we have 15 rows left. So a really good tip is to actually count out the bands that represent each of the rows. So we would count out 15 bands and put them to the side, and every time you start a new row you take one from that little pile of bands, so it goes down, so you can tell how many rows you're on without having to drop everything and, you know, tick off with a pencil and paper. The other thing you can do is if you have a row counter, and they're little gadgets that you can pick up from your craft shop. They're rather fancy. I'll show you. I've got one somewhere. Here we go. This is my little row counter. I love this because all you do, you can reset it here. Goes back to 0, and you can say, okay, I've done 1 and I've done 2, and these fit on your finger like this, so you just keep going. So you can either get a little counter, and you can get digital ones, you can get all sorts, really different style. There's one that you can click. There's a variety of different ones, but I quite like this little one. It just sits on your finger, and it counts the rounds as you, or I shouldn't say rounds, the rows as you do them. I had the weirdest comment on one of my videos this morning. I woke up sipping my coffee, getting ready for the day, and I'm looking at the comments, and I haven't replied to any of them yet. I was kind of in shock. This person, I presume it's a child, because I would have to assume that an adult would have better manners. The comment was, "You've got really cool designs, but your voice is disgusting." Thanks for that. Alright, I'm getting rid of my stitch marker. I don't need that. So this is my second last stitch. I'm going in, doing my single crochet. Now this is my very last stitch. This one here, you can see I'm going in, I'm going to take a single band, I'm going to pull it through all the loops. So I've done my slip stitch, I'm going to chain one, again like I did the other side, pinch, move my hook to the other side and turn my work around, click that I'm doing round number 3, okay, or row number 3. Skip the first, skip the second, into the third, and we do another row wanting to say round, and off we go doing our next one. And you're going to do this until you have 17. You want 17 rows. Now the other way, if you don't want to do it like that, this is 3, you say 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, and keep your little bands here. Every time you start a new row, you take one from here. All right, so keep going until you've done your 17 rows, and your work will look like this. All right, and then we'll catch you back when you're at this stage as well. So hopefully you are back, I'm back too, and we've done our 17 rows. Now we're going to work on sleeves, and this is the first sleeve that I've done. This is complete. We're going to make 2 of these. Okay, now how we're going to start, you're going to take 18 bands, so 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16 and 18. A little pile of 18 bands. Take your first band, and it's not from here, this is number 19. Okay, you're actually not going to use, you have to chain 18. So with the 19th band, take it and do 1 figure 8 with it, 1 twist. All right, and you're going to chain these 18. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17 and 18. You're going to need a stitch marker ready. If you don't have a stitch marker, use a little S clip or a C clip. Paper clip works too. Any sort of clip to just make it so that you can see where your beginning and where your end is. Now, straighten this out so that you can see that there's no twists. You want to make sure that there's no twists. Here's your end cap at the end. Okay, take your end cap, no twists, and put one side of your end cap on your hook. There's still no twists in this chain. Take the 2 loops that are on the hook up and over onto that end cap, and then you're going to go through the center of that first loop. Actually, it's the first loop that it is after. It's the first band after your end cap. So go in through here with a single band, do your single crochet like so, and put your stitch marker on. All right, so if you look at this, if you lay it flat, I know people were saying to me it was twisted. If you lay this flat, there should be no twist in it. All right, it's a little hard to see, but there's no twist. And then you'll go through your next stitch, and we're just doing single crochet in each of these stitches. Now this is our first round. All right, we are doing 15. So again, if you want to lay out your bands to mark how many rounds you're on, this is our first one of 15, so we need 14 more bands. That's 3, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 and 14. So I've got 14 bands there. Alright, and at the beginning of every round I'm going to take one from that little pile. Make sure you don't twist. Alright, you're not twisted. doing a single crochet in each stitch. Make sure you're not twisted. And it's so easy to do. It's just like you got one that twists, just push it back so that it's straight. That was that one. This is this one. Now I should say, we're back at the beginning here. Push your stitch mark, push your hook in. Take one from this little pile. Do your single crochet, move your stitch marker, and around we go again. I should say that first part of the jacket that we've done, that took about, well, I think it's 680 bands, okay? And then these sleeves are going to take, I'm sorry, 682, because you've got those 2 extra that you start with. So the sleeves are 242 bands each. Okay, so around we go, and you're just going to keep doing single crochet until you have reached 15 rounds of it, which will be, in our case, when this pile of bands is finished. Second round, and you should have the same amount of stitches. You're not increasing, you're not decreasing. Okay, so there's our first stitch. Go through, take one from this little pile, and around you go again. Move your stitch marker, and around you go again. So you're going to do that twice until you have it like this. Now this is one I've completed. My next one, my second one, is over here, and I have one more round to do. Okay, so there's my stitch marker. I've got my stitch right here. Here's my stitch marker. I'm going to go through. I've got one round left to do. Move my stitch marker, and this will be my 15th round, and then I will show you how we can join them. Now obviously you will have paused the video and completed your sleeves, so that you are at the same stage as me, where you have 2 completed sleeves, each of them being 15 rounds. And here's my last stitch, and what I'm going to do is pull my band through, add the loop reclaim, and put my stitch marker on both ends of the band. Okay, and I hope I've done the same here. No, I haven't. Let's do that. One went over the other. I just want both ends. So it's through here, put both ends like that. So pause the video, make sure you have 2 arms and the body of your jacket, and we will put our arms on our little jacket in the next segment. So I'm back. I have my 2 arms ready. I have the actual body of my jacket ready. What we're going to do, fold this in half. Now bear in mind you've got your little chain of 2 here. Okay, so this, the 3rd stitch, is really going to be counted as your 1st stitch, and it will line up with this one here. Okay, fold it in half, and this is our center point here. All right, and I'm going to put a little sort of band just here at the center point so that we know what we're talking about. This is the center there. All right, now we're going to count to make sure that it's even either side. So there's the center. We're going 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. On the 9th stitch, either side from the center, you're going to put a little marker band. Okay, and I'm trying to zoom in so you can see what I'm talking about. Let's see. Come here, you. There we go. So here's my center. I've got 9 stitches, put a white marker band. 9 stitches, I've put a white marker band. Now we are going to marry up where that stitch is with how we join our arms onto this piece of creation. Okay, and we're going to do 6 bands. So it's, well, I'm sorry, 5 bands. We're going to do 2 this side, the center, and 2 this side, and then 2 this side, the center, and 2 this side, and so 5 on the actual sleeves as well. So in order to do that, let's go back to our stitch here. I have a little stitch holder on it. I'm going to take that off, and I'm going to count my 1, my 2, here's number 3, I'm going in it, and I'm going to stop 2 bands prior to that white marker band. Now again, it really doesn't matter what side you're putting these on as long as you do it the same for both, because there is no right side or wrong side on this particular one. If we had been doing a reverse single crochet, then we would want to choose which side we put our arms on, but this is the same either side, so it really doesn't matter. So I'm moving up here. Now this is 1 and 2, so this is my last stitch. Okay, and now I'm going to use this first stitch here to add my first arm on. So I'm going to go through the stitch, and I'm going to use the band that I have as a joining band here. If you remember, we did a slip stitch here. I'm going to pinch this tight, okay, and this is a band that's going, it's got all of the loops on it. So I've got that on my hook. I'm going to pull it through, I'm going to reclaim, I'm going to go one over the other and join. Okay, then I'm going to go through the next stitch, and I'm going to go through the next stitch on here and do a single crochet going through both those loops. Alright, here's my middle band, so I'm going to get rid of that marker band, and I'm going to go through my next stitch, pull it through, and now I have 2 more stitches because that was that white band. So here's the first on this side of the white band, and 1 more. Here we go, on either side, just like that. So we have joined our arm on like this, our sleeve I should say. We're going to continue doing single crochets just in the main body of the jacket now. Do not include the sleeve, okay? And you're going to go all the way until you get to 2 stitches before the next sleeve marker band. Now ignore that center marker band now, we don't have to count that one in. We can get rid of this center one, we'll get rid of that. 2 stitches before here, so 1 and 2. So we're just doing single crochets until we get to that point. Come back here. Now I also have 3 buttons prepared. They're going to be the 3 buttons of my little jacket. So this is my last stitch here before I start adding my sleeve. Okay, so I've got here 1 and 2. I'm going to go through this one, grab my little sleeve. We need to take our hook and put it through that band, remove the stitch marker. Okay, take this end one off. You're going to pull through, reattach one over the other and join, and then we'll do the next one. Remove your marker band, you don't need that, so this is the center one. Go through the next stitch and be careful that you do go through the exact one. This was here, so we need to go through this one next. So be careful you're not jumping a stitch because you'll have a little gap. Here's my next one. And one more. And then again, just doing single crochets in the portion of the jacket, not the jacket and the sleeve. Again, you're going to pull through that one band, so it's got all of them on it like a slip stitch, chain 1, pinch, push your hook through the other side and turn. So we have, if you have a look, this is the back of the jacket. We have it like that at the minute. Okay, oops, I've lost my chain. Let's go back and get my chain. Pick that up. There we are. So 1, 2, here's my third. We're going to go in, single crochet until we get to the sleeve area. And to all of you who actually do crochet and are looking at me in absolute horror at how I'm doing this pattern, I don't do crochet, so I'm just doing this how it seems obvious to me. So as far as if this is how they do jackets in crochet. I have no idea. I've never done one. Okay, so I'm coming up to the jacket. Now, if you lift this up, okay, we have another stitch here. I'm going to go through this one. And then what I need to do is try and incorporate the top part of the sleeve into my jacket area. So this one already has a loop going through it. So I'm going to go through the next one here. Okay, and I want it to be a single crochet, just like normal. Like that. Now if you think that that is too big of a little gap, if you think that's too much of a gap, you can add another stitch into that one. It doesn't really matter, but I think we're going to be okay. And what we're going to do now is go around the top of the sleeve, this part of the sleeve, with single crochets. So this becomes the new line that we follow. Okay, when you're doing your next rounds or rows or whatever we're going to call it. This is our last stitch here, so go through it. And now we go back onto our jacket area, okay? Oops. So again, we're coming up to the sleeve. I'm going to go in through this stitch here, which is the last one of just the jacket, and then I'm going to go into the part that goes around the top of the sleeve. So we're skipping this bit under the armpit area and going over the top of the sleeve. Oopsie. It's getting crowded here. And now what we need to do when we finish this row, we need to start doing some decreasing to make it conform around the neck. So I'm nearly at the end here. I've got 2 stitches left on the arm. So here's 1 and here's 2. Then if you hold this aside, you can see this is the stitch we need to go into. See how it joins? This is the one that was joining. And again, slip stitch, chain, pinch, turn your hook, and we'll turn our work around. Now this is where we're going to start doing our decreases. What we're going to do is we're going to do 2 single crochets followed by a decrease, and I'm going to reduce this inside so we can see what we're doing. Okay, so this is our first stitch, our second, so go in through your third. We're doing 2 single crochets followed by a decrease. So that's 1, 2, and now we have to do a decrease. And I'm going to go through both of the loops. I'm not doing the invisible one. So I'm going to go through 1 and 2, because when we turn it around and go back the other way, we have to do the same thing. So now again, 1, 2, and on this one we do a decrease. And then this is our next stitch here. 1, and this here. Try not to skip any, because otherwise that's a decrease without even knowing it. 2, and then decrease. One, 2, and decrease. Whoopsie, come back here. 1, 2, and decrease. And it's tricky. You want to make sure that you're not skipping anything. 1, 2. Now have a look at how this one is. This is the decrease here. So you've got to go through this one and then this one next to it. It can be tricky. Oopsie, let's try that again. Decrease. 1, 2, decrease. One, two, decrease. One, two, decrease. Oopsie. There we go. Right, come back here. One, two, decrease. Oops. One, two, let's do a decrease. And decrease. I'm going to finish doing my slip stitch. One and two. Whoops, throw my hook around and move around. Now, if you wanted to test this, put your little stitch marker on to hold your stitch in place so it doesn't go walkabout. Alright, if you wanted to test this, this is how we're looking so far. So it's coming over the shoulders. Alright, I'm going to take the little red one off. And I'll put the little blue one on and I'll show you. And you'll be able to see how much more you need to do. So the little red jacket off. Let's put this little blue one on. Pull the arms through. And this is a good spot anyway to start putting the buttons on the front as well. Oh, and the shorts are coming off. I need to make her a belt. So this is how this is going to look, okay? And as you can see, we still have a little bit of height that we need to do here on the arms for the shoulders. Whoops, sorry, I'm bashing the camera to try and show you. So if you have a look here, we've still got quite a bit of height that we need to do on either side. So we need to bring it up again. We need to do decreases here, but it fits quite nicely here and on the back. So the area that we need to bring up is going to be really, to do our decreases, to bring them closer together, is on this shoulder area of the arms, okay? And if you wanted to approximate where you're going to put your buttons, this is a good time to do it. So I've got 3 buttons. I've threaded 2 with bands, with a band each. If you're going to do the threading, I use a little metal threader. It's made of a twisty tie, and I do have a video, one of the first videos I did, on how to make a metal threader with a twisty tie, and then just poke this through. I think it makes it easier than doing it with floss, but whichever way you normally would do it, and then poke it back through the opposite side. There we go, like that. A little container that I keep mine in so I don't lose it all the time. Alright, so what you're going to do, you're going to approximate where on here you want to have the button. Alright, I'm going to have one button here, and I don't want it right on the edge. I probably want this part of the button to be at the edge of this first area here, the seam on the side. Alright, so I'm going to go and I'm going to pick my spot. I'm going to say about here. Now what I'm going to do, I'm going to go through one stitch and come through another like that. And I'm going to pull one side through, if I can get it on my hook. Alright, so I'm going to pull, hey, come here, pull one side through like this. Reclaim one over the other. And then I'm going to splay that out and pop this, after I splay it out, over the button, like that. And the good thing about that is you can then interchange the buttons if you want to. If you want to make them something different, you can. Again, I'm going to place the second one, and the third one's going to go back here. So again, I'm going to go through and through, find a spot that I want to put this, draw back the band, claim the other side, one over the other. Oh, that was tricky. There we go. Splay the band open and pop around the button like that. And you can move these. You can, if you think, oh, I did that one a bit wrong, move them over. Doesn't really matter. Let's do the third one. We're going to go here and here. Take the first half of the loop over, pull it through, splay open, and pop on. As I said, you can adjust where these go. It's completely up to you. And when you loop them in, when you do the button up, you just pick a spot on the little jacket and move the bands apart to plonk it in, just like this. There's nothing fancy. You don't have to do a buttonhole. It can go anywhere you like. All right. So they just do up, just like that. Okay. But let's work on our sleeves. So let's undo our little buttons. There we go. We're going to do some decreasing on our sleeves. Sorry, Izzy Bizzy, we're undressing you again. Alright, so this time it's facing this way, and we're putting our hook in, taking our stitch marker off, go through the third stitch. So that's 1, 2, here's number 3, push through. Just do single crochets till you get to the sleeve. So, single crochet, and even though I tried to make this video shorter, it's still long, isn't it? Sorry. So here we are, I'm at the base of the sleeve, and now what I'm going to do is do single crochet followed by a decrease. There's my single crochet and a decrease. Single crochet, decrease. single crochet, decrease, and then we finish with a single crochet and go all the way until we get to here. Oopsie. Here being the next sleeve. Somebody told me off about that the other day. I say here and there and everywhere, and I'm pointing to it, but if you're not looking, you don't know what on earth I'm talking about. You should be looking. Okay, so let's single crochet up to the next sleeve. So I'm at my sleeve now. I'm going to do the first one as a single crochet, and then I'm going to do a decrease. Oops, pull it right through. Let's try that decrease again. There we go. And a single crochet. And a decrease. And a single crochet. And a final decrease. 1, 2. Hey, come back. Wow. And a single crochet till the end of the jacket. Go through, this is our last stitch, do your slip stitch, do your chain, pinch, move your hook. See how that's brought that closer in? Now we're just going to do single crochet. So go through the third stitch and let's do a single crochet row, and then we'll compare, or we'll see how it looks on our doll one more time to see if we need to do another one, or whether we can go straight into our collar. Make sure you get every stitch. Oh, cat hair. Now you can pretty the jacket up as well if you don't want it plain. If you remember how we did the little frilly socks, you can do that same sort of frill technique on the arms and the lower base of the jacket to frill it up a little bit. Completely up to you. And as I mentioned, you certainly don't have to just do it all one colour like I've done. You can make it any colour you like. Do a Joseph's many coloured jacket. Come back here. There we go. Oopsie. Here's our last stitch. Go through, slip stitch, chain, and I'm going to pinch that and put my stitch marker on, and one more time just compare how it looks, judge how it looks on my doll. Okay, sorry Izzy Bizzy. Poke her little arm through. Here we are. You can do it up if you want to. Just to see how it's fitting. So what we do, we actually bend these down. When we finish, we're bending these down and putting a little stitch either side to keep this down as a collar. Okay, but I think we need to do one more round with single crochet first, and probably a decrease here and a decrease here either side, and then we can work on our collar. So let's do that. So let's finish this off. I've done my little buttons up, and I'm going to do a decrease here, a decrease here, a decrease here, and a decrease here, just two. So take my little stitch marker off, 1, 2, go in through the third. We're doing a single crochet. So that's our first stitch, and our second stitch, the third, and the fourth, and for the fifth, this is where I'm going to do my first decrease. Okay, just here. So I'm going to go in and in through the next stitch as well. Like so, and I'm going to go and until I get to about this point, the same point on the other side. I'm just going to do single crochets. as things get taller and bigger, it's a little difficult to show you, to get it all in the camera without actually smacking the camera. So I'm trying to be very careful. So if I look like I'm going a bit slow, now you know why. I'm coming around over the sleeve. And I want to get past the sleeve before I do my decrease. So this is the last one of the sleeve. I'm going to do one here, a single crochet, and I'm going to do my decrease. So 1 and 2. And I'm going to do one at about the same spot here and here. So let's do a couple more single crochets, maybe 3 or 4. 1, 2, oops, 3, and we'll do 4, and then we'll do another decrease. So in and in through the next. And then we do over the top of the sleeve until we get to the other side. Does it. Now in this next one I'm going to go through and do my decrease. And finish off with single crochets. I'm going to do a slip stitch, and I'm just going to pinch and put my stitch marker on and test on my doll one more time. So I've put my jacket on my little doll, and what I'm going to do now is work out where I want, so I'm quite happy with how this is sitting around the neck because we still have our little white ruffle of rim to do here. So what I'm going to do, I've done it up, and I'm going to gently move these to where I think they should sit. Okay, and I want this one about here, and I'm going to poke my hook through. Now I'm going to use a blue band, okay, and what I need to do is anchor it on the back like so. Okay, and I've just anchored it like this, and when I do my white I'm going to go around this area. So I'm going to start with my white here, go around and whatnot. You can do a tighter knot if you want. I just do it like that. It doesn't really matter if it comes undone because you just redo it. Okay, and then on this side I'm going to do the same, and I'm going to actually use the little band that I have here, which is my slip stitch. Okay, so I'm going to tie my slip stitch off like that, and I'm going to work out where I want this to be and go through the back here and pull that slip stitch through. Okay, and then I'm going to tie it at the back here. I'm just going to go through and tie a little knot like so to keep that in place. So these are my two little edges that I've curled under, and it doesn't really matter if they come undone a little bit because they're just little collars. Okay, this one's come loose a bit, you can just pull it tight. Alright, so I'm going to take these shorts off, they're actually getting in the way a bit. Sorry. What we're going to do now is starting at about this spot here, because you want to be on the collar, or you can start here, it really doesn't matter. I'm going to start from about here, and I'm going to take a white band. Now you want to make it, when you do this, you want to make it so that these little bits are shown at the front. You don't want, I don't necessarily like seeing the V at the front. So if we do this, let's have a look here. As we go around, we want to make sure, and you have to pop your hook through this little bit here, just those two. It's tricky because you've done the knot there. Well, you haven't, I have. One over the other, like so, and we're just doing around like a little trim. Okay, I'm going to go in this side here. I want these two, and this is the edge, the corner. So I'm doing two in the corner so that I can get round it. Okay, like that, and then I'm coming back here. There we go. I'm a fumble fingers today. Got a week and a half left of school holidays, school vacation for the little one, and then I'll be doing my recording in full steam ahead again. It's been an interesting summer holiday, having a kiddo home for 3 months. Whew. Hard to know what to do to keep them busy sometimes, isn't it? Alright, let's make sure I get this one over the other, one over the other. So this is how I'm doing the little trim of the collar. I'm going to sit her up, I'm going to go to this next one here. And we're going to trim all the way around. Now, do you see that, and I want to be careful here, if I go under and like this, I get the V here. Now this is the look that I want, where you have this smooth look. I don't want this V look. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to do a reverse crab. I'm going to undo that one, and I tilt my doll this way. And so I'm doing it in a reverse crab way. So I'm going to go from the back to the front and pull it through. Okay? So go from the back to the front instead of from the front to the back. So we're doing the crab stitch. It's the reverse single crochet. So go from the back to the front, through the back, and pull through and over. Now if you want to do this without it being on the doll, it might be easier as well, but I do think it's imperative to put it on your doll so that you can work out where you want the I'm just going to put the stitch marker in so I don't lose it from my hook, where you want the folds to be for your little jacket. Okay, so let's take the jacket off and it'll be a little quicker as we do our reverse crab. So poke our hook back through, remove the stitch marker. As I said, we're going from the back to the front. Normally we go from the front to the back. This time we're going from the back to the front. And it is trickier. It's a trickier stitch. Hopefully I'm in focus. If you're having problems with this, I do have a YouTube video in Loomigurumi Tips and Tricks showing you how to do all the stitches slowly and easily, close up. Please have a look there. It will make life a little easier. And it purely is just because I don't like seeing the V on the on this side. So if you don't care about the V, go ahead and do it the other way. Oops. Come back here, silly sausage. Okay, let's push through. Make sure you go through every single stitch. You can tell I'm not as comfortable doing it this way because I'm using my fingers to move instead of doing a twist like that, which I do quite fast the other way, I'm doing one over the other, one over the other. I think it's just what you're comfortable with and what you're used to doing, isn't it? Here we go. Every little stitch, don't miss one. Oops, what have I done here? There we go. And now we're going to come down the other side here. So I'm going to switch and I'm going to go from the front to the back because this is flipped over. All right. Again, I'm on the corner one, so I'm going to do one this side, and I'm going to do one the other side of the knot, to get that round the corner. Here we go. And this is exactly why I don't write my patterns down. I don't know how I'd actually find the right words to describe what on earth I'm doing. This is my last one here. I'm going to go through like this. Now, this last band here, I'm going to push my hook. I've taken it off this little loop. I'm going to push my hook through and pull that back. Okay, and I need to just tie this off at the back where it can be hidden. So I'm just going to go through here, and I can even incorporate this one in as well if I wanted to hide that a little bit. So I'm going to go through here and pull a band through and tie off, and then I'm going to hide that down the inside here of these, And this one can go down the inside of these two. And once you sort of secure these down, you don't really see them. There we go. Get back here. Hey, wrong one. There we go. Alright, so that's hidden in there, and that's hidden there. So this is how the collar is looking so far. Now, what we're going to do, starting at this point, so you're not going to incorporate the little bit that folds down. You're going to start where we started from the other side. And what we're going to do is just go through the front loop only. Okay, now if you're working this way, it's the back loop only. If you're working this way, it's the front loop only. So I'm going to go through. I'm going to start on this side here. I'm going to go through, and you want it to be on the outside of the jacket. Okay, hey, come here. And you're going to do single crochets, and this is to give, and you go through each stitch. Okay, this is to give the collar a bit of a lip to it. But you're just going on the outside of the jacket, so not the you don't want this on the inside loop of the, oh, let's not do blue bands, let's do white bands. You just want to do this on the outside of the jacket loop, not the inside loop. So we're going to go through just this single loop. If you see, we've got two loops here. We're going through the loop that faces the outside of the jacket, not the inside of the jacket. The loop on the outside. And we're going to do single crochets all the way around. Okay. Oops. Now, one of the things I should mention is you can make these longer. It doesn't have to be 17 rows. If you want a longer jacket, like sort of to do for a gi, you know, martial art uniform, or I guess a trench coat or something like that, or a wizard's robe, anything like that, do more than 17. I can't remember off the top of my head how long the dress I did for Snow White was, but you could sort of almost work out from that how long to do your jacket. And it's completely up to you. Hold it up against your doll and see how it compares. So yeah, this is just a short jacket, but you can very easily just do a long jacket just by increasing how many rounds or rows you do. Likewise with this collar, I'm doing the one on the outside here, but if you want to make it a wider collar, you just can go and do more rows. So I'm nearly back at the end, well, not back at the end, but at the end. And what I'm going to do, oops, come back here, just like I did before, I'm going to go through, slip stitch, and I'm not actually going to chain it. I'm going to hold it, move my hook. I haven't done a chain. Whoops, that wasn't very clever of me. Let's try that again. So go through the next one, which is here, with a slip stitch. I'm going to move my hook to the other side. If you want to do a chain, you can, and go past 1, 2, and 3. That's absolutely fine. We'll do it. We'll stay with the way we've been doing things. I won't mess things up. And then you're just going to do single crochet all the way around again. So that the collar is separate from, I guess you would call this the lapel, really. This is the lapel and then this is the collar. Imagine if we hadn't done the shortcuts. Imagine how long this video would have been. Goodness gracious. So my little one goes back to school on the 12th of August. How many of you go back then? That's quite early, I've heard. Oopsie. Fumble fingers strikes again. Nearly at the end. So I'm going to go through in a slip stitch and tie off in a knot, and I'm going to hide that tie off band inside some of these loops here. Just like that. So that's the little collar of my jacket. I can try and make it pop down a little bit. Let's get our doll. Come on, Izzy Bizzy. Poke her arms in. I'm sorry, she's not wearing her wig today. She's being bold and beautiful. Let's line up where we're going to do these little buttons up. And there is her little jacket. Am I zoomed in or out? There we go, a little bit better. There's her little jacket. I hope you enjoy making. I think it looks really cute. I like it. It could be for a school uniform. As I said, you can make it a little bit longer. But there we go. Have fun. Take care. Bye.